This is Soy,
And this is Dyra.
and you're listening to Hair and Whatever.
Unfiltered salon talk.
Hey y'all,
What's
this
up,
is
what's up?
Soy and I am Dyra and you're listening to Hair and Whatever, and today we have a special guest on the show, Adrian.
Yeah, Adrian Rawls Modahead with Sacred Steam ATL.
Can you tell us a little bit about ATL? What's it called?
It's called Sacred Steam ATL.
Okay. Can you tell
So
us a
it's
little bit about it?
it's a vaginal steam service that I provided, for women. I'm actually exploring steaming for men at the moment, but right now I work with women.
Really?
Yeah, girl, there's a lot of cool stuff.
Oh, we
with
gotta
that.
get into
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I never heard of that
Yeah.
before.
So I've been working on my husband a little bit with that. So we'll have to bring me back and I can tell you about all the great things.
Because I'm just thinking about it logistically. I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's called A-Steam for men.
okay.
Yeah, right. So with women, it's vaginal steaming. It's essentially using water and herbs. You boil them and it creates a steam. But the steam, because of the herbs, it creates a lot of, medicinal benefits and does a lot of magic to your vagina, your cervix, your uterus.
Okay.
Wait,
We're gonna get
into that.
All of that great stuff. Your whole reproductive system.
That sounds
like a whole bunch
amazing.
Yes, a whole bunch of interesting things that we need to find out about that we don't know nothing about.
No.
Yeah.
That I want to know about. I need some JJ's theming.
And it's so funny. I hear so many different interesting names.
Yoni.
Yeah.
All of that.
All right, so but first let's get into the crown of the week. And the crown of the week is Soy.
Iman. She's on the cover of Essence, looking amazing. It's the summer issue.
She's a vampire, guys. She does not age.
Right. She is. I mean,
How old you said she was?
she's like in her 50s. No, 60s.
Like she reminds me of Ciara here.
She does.
That's
Like,
what I thought it was.
Yeah.
Right?
Ciara's on the cover too.
Okay.
I think
That is that.
that's not Ciara.
Are we sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, she looks good.
Wow.
Iman look good.
She posted it. The real Iman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, she looks amazing.
That's how good she looks. So you're
That's
like,
my
look
goals.
at yeah.
Okay.
She is goals, guys.
Anyway, she has like all this like tribal makeup on, and she has like really long braids all the way down.
Yeah. Looking
Yeah.
fly.
Hmm.
I love it.
Yeah. So,
So let's get into what we talking about. So
well, today's topic is gonna be the process of defining your curls. I could talk about this in my sleep. I love this subject because surprisingly, a lot of women don't know who have curly hair, and we're gonna talk about vaginal steaming with our good friend Adrian.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So the process of defining your curls. We both love this because we speak about this at the salon like all day, every day, trying to help curly girls around the world.
Right.
With their curls.
Yeah, because a lot of clients come in and they say, they want to wear their curls, but they're just not sure how to wear their curls, or if they're doing that, it's like they're dry and I don't know, I'm frizzy, or I have too much shrinkage, or whatever.
Right.
So we're gonna give our tips to defining your curls and what we do in the salon to define the curls.
Right.
So what do we do?
So first and foremost, you wanna shampoo your hair.
Yes.
Use a clarifier.
Right.
The first step, using a clarifier.
And we speak about that all the time because a lot of people don't realize that the clarifier should be the first shampoo. It should say clarifying shampoo because you want to get rid of everything that's in your hair first before you move forward with your treatment shampoo.
Right. And what's a treatment shampoo? Because some people don't know what's a treatment shampoo.
So a treatment shampoo is a shampoo that is designed for the condition of your hair. So if your hair is dry, then you're going to use a treatment shampoo that contains moisture. If your hair is colored, you want to use a a shampoo that is for color. If you need repair, you want to use a shampoo for repair. You kind of get it in the picture, right?
Right.
Or if your hair you have fine hair, your hair needs volume, you want to use a volumizing shampoo.
Right.
So you just want to kind of like identify your need. Or if you just have normal hair, you just use
What is normal hair?
Normal hair. I rarely see normal hair, but I mean, I believe normal hair is like someone who has been taking care of their hair,
right?
Who's been coming to the salon or just doing really great home care, and they've got their hair under control.
Right. So, guys, normal hair is not straight hair.
Right.
I just wanted to put it out there because some people have that misconception that
like it's regarding the texture,
right?
And when you say normal,
right.
Yeah, we're talking about as far as like needs, like treatment needs, normal hair. So there's different shampoos that are for each curl. I mean, each condition.
Hair condition where you are. So, like, let's say I have color. So what I'm gonna do is do a repair or do a protein, treatment,
right?
Base, or it depends if like I've been in the pool and I've been shampooing my hair, then I'm gonna put some moisture back into my hair. So it's basically on your based on your lifestyle, what you're what you've been doing to your hair, what it needs. So. Clarifier is, and the reason why you want to use a clarifier, guys, is because us curly girls, right, we're always using a lot of products, so we're putting like
crap, I'm just playing
that, but we're putting like gels, mousses, like creams, and we're like not everyone is washing on a weekly basis, but they're washing I've heard once a month. So, and
I wish we had like the sound effect.
Yeah. So, you want to remove all those products from your hair, and it's okay, like, to remove and strip your hair with it, because the next step is to use obviously the treatment shampoo, but then what we go into is the deep conditioning.
Yeah.
The deep conditioning, also known as hair mask, like using a hair mask. Right?
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize that, especially if I think that if you're going to wear, your curls for the majority of the time, you need to use like a deep conditioning treatment. Like really all curly girls, I feel like, need to use a deep conditioning treatment with every shampoo, or if not, like maybe every other week. Do a deep conditioning shampoo.
Ask how often.
I do it every time I shampoo.
Yeah, I do it every time I shampoo, and I shampoo it once a week.
And I'm once, or if I can get to it, once, or no less than like,
maybe 10 days, I would say, but never more than 2 weeks.
Yeah,
ever.
Yeah, my hair can't stand to it. Yeah, so that, and deep conditioning, I want to point out, is not like letting a regular conditioner stay on your hair. Right.
Yeah, because a lot of people say because they leave the conditioner on for longer, then they think that it's
a deep condition.
And I understand why people
that
may
thought
think
process.
That, but I found myself like telling people, like asking the questions. What are you using? Like what product? And they're like, oh, just the one that says conditioner. Right. And no, it's not. You want to use something that says deep conditioning on it, or it says hair mask. That it's specialized for that, to penetrate deeper into the hair follicle.
Right.
Yeah.
This is good. I'm like taking
those girl
notes. Yeah.
And but you came in and got your curly girl treatment to find your curls.
And like from that point forward, I was like, I should have. Like, I had no clue the 3-step process. I was just, I wash my hair once a week and, used whatever conditioner at the moment. Like, I just tried different product lines and, to see which one I liked the best. But I didn't, I wasn't really doing like after I should clear out or wash out the conditioner, going in and then putting moisture. Yeah. And I was putting like products, but, I wasn't doing the oil, so that's what made a huge difference with my curls when
we actually did that whole LOC process that we're gonna get into.
That made a huge difference with how they looked, and then just the not being dry.
Right.
I was struggling with just dryness, and I wouldn't wear my hair out a lot of times because of that reason. Like, okay, it just, whatever, it just wasn't in a condition. It was too dry and just didn't feel like dealing with it. But if I do the LOC method, it's like my hair is healthy for longer, or like moisturized for longer.
Yeah,
so I can wear it out longer.
And I notice a lot of women with curly hair that want to wear their hair, they don't wear it out because of that. They just don't know,
right,
the steps to get that, they get that definition.
Right. And another reason why I think it's people haven't embraced their curls.
Yeah, that's
like they're not accepting of what comes out of their scalp.
Yeah. Or they want it to look like something else.
Right, exactly. And yesterday, like, I saw this girl on social media and I sent it to my mother, and don't mind that.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm not going to ask no questions.
But her hair was like
gorgeous.
amazing. And obviously, like, a lot of people with that texture are like, oh, well, I want my hair to look like yours. And that's gorgeous.
Right.
Yeah,
we'll show that picture.
Yeah.
We'll put it up.
Yeah. But yeah.
So what's next?
So
after you deep conditioning and then you rinse out with cool water.
Well, you want to make sure also that you have a good trim.
Yes.
Because like,
man,
you don't want to like have like straight pieces, or even when your hair is getting tangled, it's harder to untangle. That means you're ready for a trim. That's a good like
dead giveaway.
Giveaway. Like when you're, sometimes when you have a trim, like it's easy to untangle rather than like we've seen some cases where
you can't barely get through it.
You can't, and it keeps on getting, as much as you untangle it and you hydrate, the hair is still tangled.
Yeah,
it gets tangled. Like you cannot, like it's very hard. And once you get that dead weight, all that dead hair,
you can just like
go through it.
You can go through, and a lot of times that hair is feeling like it's dry.
Yeah,
and people think that my hair is so dry, but you just need a haircut.
Right.
You really
people
need
are so like against getting haircuts or trims
to the length of it.
To the length of it,
right? But I'd rather hair health rather than length,
and the length will come
exactly because you're taking care of your hair. And I've heard this all over. Girl, I went to my hairstylist and she cut so much hair from my, like she gets scissor happy. Right. And at the end of the day, I don't feel like that. Like, just working in a hair salon, it's not about that. It's more so about what your hair needs. Exactly. And using the white cape is a dead.
Oh man, that's changed the game on a lot of people. Like now you get to see, like, look, hey, let's both be on one accord. Now you see this and I see this. This is what I'm seeing. Right. So I want you to see this.
And too. For the stylists that listen to our podcast, like I think it's important to, change it up. Go use the white cape because or
a white piece of paper, whatever you have, know, that can show them like this is what you need. And once they see that, they are like, cut that off.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want. And obviously, it's easier to see when the hair is straight.
Yeah, than it's when it's curly.
When it's curly, because a lot of people are also getting curly cuts. Yeah, and we're not going to get into that.
Yeah, that's a whole nother topic. That's a whole nother ball game right there.
Right. So so then obviously getting a trim, and if you're not going to get into you're not getting a trim, obviously, because don't do a trim on your own, guys. Right. You're going to do the LOC method, which is a leave-in conditioner, an oil, and a cream. And depends on what you want, like as far as like a hold. Right. Maybe you want to use a gel, or you maybe want to use mousse, or maybe you don't want to use nothing.
So tell them what the LOC is. Like, what's the process like?
So it's a leave-in conditioner, right? And the leave-in conditioner is to add moisture into the hair follicle, right? And then the oil is to help seal in that moisture Oils are not meant to moisturize your hair. Right. Oils are meant to seal in the moisture, and not all oils are created equal.
I was just about to say that.
Some oils
there's not.
I think that was the key with me when I didn't understand, because I would buy oils and then put them on like right after I would wash my hair and condition it, and then I felt like it was heavy, or maybe it was just the type of oil, but it just was like I just didn't like it feeling like oily. Right. And So when you were like, no, it's supposed to be after the leave-in conditioner, and it
Right.
seals that in. I'm like,
Right.
oh, okay.
Because the leave-in conditioner is actually giving you more moisture.
Right.
The oil is a nutrient.
Right,
Like that's what we use oils for, is nutrients.
Right.
And to seal the leave-in in.
Right, exactly.
And you want to make sure whatever oil that you're using, do a test, like on your skin. Like if you buying an oil and it just sits on top of your skin, then you know that oil is going to sit on top of your hair.
Or if it smells like fruits. And oils are not supposed to smell like fruits, guys.
It needs to smell a little bit therapeutic.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
it could smell like rosy, or but not like fruity.
Like pineapples and mangoes.
No, because it's not like, think about it. They're like, putting other stuff in there.
Yeah.
Oils are like, you think about essential oils, or
you want it to
like it has a different smell,
or even coconut. Coconut oil does not, like, it's a fruit, but it still doesn't have that strong fruity smell.
It's not like heavy florals.
Yeah, it smells like nuts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Kind of nuts.
Of course, so we go there. We haven't gotten into like
smell like. That's what the men need, them steam baths.
Right, exactly. They ain't all us, right?
They need to, right.
Yeah.
Right. So then obviously the cream is to style, to a little bit of hold, and you can stop right there if you don't want more of a hold. And certain people with certain textures that may not need to go incorporate the or don't want to. Like sometimes I don't even add a gel or cream. Right. Like I just leave it, or mousse. Sometimes I just leave it there.
Yeah, it just depends on what you
how
want.
you like your hair.
How you like your hair, what you want. Yeah. And the technique that we use, I want to mention that it does not, after you use all of that stuff, it does not feel like product is in your hair.
Right.
Oh, and we forgot to say
water.
that the water, water is a huge component.
Right. So you want your hair to be like
wet,
dripping wet, like you want a towel on the floor, you want to put it in the shower. Right. The best way to put the products is in the shower, because like your hair is still dripping wet, and then you could if you want to remove all the stuff from your body, you can after the shower, but you want it to be
like really wet. The hair, that is.
I'm done with
that's
soy.
What he said.
Oh, you sound like you need Chris. I'm done.
Oh gosh. But when you got when you got your LOC, did it feel like heavy? Did it feel like
no, not at all. Yeah. It didn't even feel like I had 3 different products.
And we were doing a lot, like we were parting and putting it in and the
it
water.
Really felt like my natural curls,
right?
Just healthy and moisturized,
right.
And
we're gonna put a picture up.
You saw the difference of your hair.
No, I definitely did. Like I was telling y'all the day I got it done, I was like, oh my god, my curls have never felt like that.
And they were more defined.
And they were defined.
Yeah, because I've been wearing my hair natural for years, but just not doing that process it just made a difference. Like I would have curls, but they just weren't like I would never wear them. No, I mean I would every once in a while wear them all out, but it was very rare, just because I couldn't
gain that look that you wanted, that control that you wanted,
and it also just was too dry. I felt like
and frizzy,
so yeah,
it's a little bit of a science and a technique, like I learned from Dyra, like the whole process of it. Like I didn't know that it was like really like to a T, like the science behind it.
Right.
Just like with the water and the different textures, and how some textures need to be like dry before you even start manipulating the curl, because because the way that it's drying,
and so certain people,
it's gonna frizz,
so certain people have, like, I'm gonna say more in the 4s. You don't want to diffuse right away. You want to really dry to like 95%, and then maybe diffuse it, because inside is you want to kind of like get what's inside like dry, but you want to sit under the dryer or just air dry if you have that kind of time. You get what I'm saying? So with my texture, sometimes I've done it, like I'll sit under the dryer because I don't want to manipulate it too much, or I'm lazy and I don't want to stand there
and diffuse.
Or during the summer is the perfect season to
let it air
wash
dry.
and go. Literally, like, you know, you wash it, put the products and go, you know. But yeah, like more in the 4A, 4B, you know, it's better to just let it sit, let the product sit, and then after it's completely 100% dry, then you maybe want to part the curls and manipulate it. And if you want it a little bigger, maybe pick it out a little bit. But, you know, you're right. Like, you can't, like, not every texture.
It can just, like, stand just like.
And also with certain textures that I found with the 4A, B, and C's, you want to do the leave-in conditioner, the cream, and the oil. So sometimes that works better.
Right. You reverse the two. The C and the O and the C.
Right.
To C and O. Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, it may work for you. You may work or LOC. Sometimes it depends on the person's texture, you know.
Right. And you'll figure it out. You'll start to figure it out, you know.
You play around with it. Like, okay, well, one day, like, because I feel like my hair is kind of like 3C. Maybe some 4A. Right. So sometimes, like, I'll do, like, depending on the season, especially, I find that in the winter, my hair obviously requires more moisture because the air is drier, you know. So, like,
and I feel like you're 4C too. Like, I mean, not 4C, 3C. I meant, yeah. 3C.
Yeah.
You guys have similar.
I mean, you know, at the end of the day, like, curls are curls. You know, like some people. I even have like certain textures in different areas.
Yeah, of course. Like most of us have like 3 different daggone textures in our hair.
Right. But yeah, like in the winter, you notice that your hair, your skin is drier. So the same thing goes with your hair. Even your face sometimes gets drier. So it's just like you gotta kind of like learn your body, you know, in a sense, you know. And
I noticed too, like for the 4C girls out there, you know, and 4Bs. Like if you, I notice a lot of people have like, you know, like they complain about shrinkage. So when you are doing this, you can, you know, pull it out and blow dry a little bit.
Yeah, like grab it out and blow dry it a little bit if you want a little to elongate your curl.
Right. And it might not, you know, if you don't even like that look, then you might just have to incorporate a technique. You know, because some people are just like, I just, no, like, I don't like my, then you want to go ahead and then, you know, after you put those products in, then just maybe just do a 2-strand twist or, you know, flat twist or something like that.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Because not everyone is going to, you know,
embrace the texture.
texture.
And that's okay, you know, like you don't need to, listen, if you want to go natural and wear your hair straight, that's okay too.
Yeah,
you know?
I do it all the time.
Right. Yeah, but some people like, you know, have that also in their head, like, oh, well.
I went natural, so now I'm not really being natural because I'm like, you know,
yeah, like hair. It's okay. Listen, whatever works for you works for you. That's it. Like, there's no pressure. Like, I know that's another thing. Like, you know, certain people, I'm against a little bit, obviously, getting a texturizer, you know. Or
people still get relaxing texturizers,
especially like I noticed that a lot of people that have shorter hair, like the little, you know, short
little pixie cuts and stuff like that, depending on their hair texture, you know, they'll get a little relaxer maybe like every 6 months or something like that.
Okay, so when you say texturizer, maybe I was thinking something different. So a relaxer is considered a texturizer.
A relaxer. The texturizer is the technique. The relaxer is what you're using to make the texturizer. It's just leaving it on less time. Just kind of combing it through.
Got it.
Right. Yeah. So it's not perm.
I was thinking like a Jerry curl.
Oh, no. It's not like a Jeremy curl.
To add curl.
Texturizer is a relaxer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Perm is what you use
to make it curly.
Right.
So, so now everyone knows how to define their curls, and if you don't, come see us.
Right,
we know what we're doing.
Exactly. Where are we, Soy?
We are at 2570 Blackman Drive, and that's in Decatur, Georgia 30032. And you can follow me on, you know, social media at Salon Soy if you want to learn how to define your curls.
Yeah, and you can follow me too and get that Royal Hair Goddess oil.
Exactly, because that's the oil that we actually use.
Right.
You know, and you liked it, right? Isn't it nice?
Yeah,
good.
I really liked it.
Yeah. I'm not trying to say, like, I always say, like, it never was meant for me to sell it. Like, I just wanted to kind of do something for myself when I did the big chop, because I cut all of my hair off. and I wanted, something authentic.
Authentic? Okay.
I can't say the word authentic. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Say it in Spanish, girl.
Auténtico.
There we go.
Yeah, so, and then I wanted, just to use something that was good. And then people were asking me, like, what is it? Like, what are you using on your hair? And I was like,
it smells so good, you guys.
Let me sell it, and I love it. Like, I love helping people with their curls, with just, and Soy does too. So that's the thing, like, finding somebody that loves their passion and, like, loves what they do. And
exactly.
That's what we
love
give
into the curl.
Yeah, that's what we give to the world, like.
I appreciate when I went, I felt like I got educated about my hair. And I was like, this is just so valuable, just for the fact that, like, I can leave and know what to do to take care of my hair
at the house. Even when you're away, like, you can get the things and just do it, as long as you have the knowledge base now.
And certain stylists hold back on, like,
that is just ridiculous.
Oh, well, I'm not gonna tell you what to use because I want you to come to my.
That is just so crazy.
And to me, it's like, not everybody can afford you. Like, not everybody. Like,
and not only that, you're holding back your blessings. Like, everyone needs to educate someone. Like, there's enough for everyone in this world. There's no reason to hold information.
Right.
Like, we're all on the same path. Like, we're all in this together. We stuck on this planet.
Right.
Ain't nobody getting off until we die.
That's the difference when you're passionate about what you do and you know that you're there to serve.
Exactly. And add value. As long as you add in value, you're gonna be fine in life. You don't have to, like, hoard information and hoard things. Like, it's gonna come back. It's okay.
Don't be a hoarder, guys.
Yes. Okay, I'm not gonna preach no more.
All right, so let's get into the slipped into the DMs.
What they say today now.
All right, let me see. So Brenda from Illinois, can I texturize my hair while transitioning?
That is an oxymoron, Brenda from Illinois. The two don't even go together. Yeah, you either need to transition or you need to just texturize.
And to me, that's a problem. If you're not, like, embracing your curls, like, as it's coming out of your scalp,
right?
Like,
just go ahead and just
embrace it, like, like, or do the big chop. And I think for me, that worked best.
Because everybody ain't going to do that.
Yeah, no, I know. That's what I'm saying. For me, it worked best because I was able to just, like, see, like,
you are.
Right. Now, I mean, I've always been a curly girl, so the reason why I cut it off is because I had straight pieces when I bleached my hair. Because, like I said, I always say the story, like, I did it fast. Like, I didn't do it, like, in a healthy...
In steps.
You have to, I wanted my hair platinum blonde and...
In 30 minutes.
in like 2 weeks. In like 2 weeks, basically. But I should have waited longer, to do it. And not everybody can do that,
right.
Because of the pigment in your hair and all that stuff.
It depends on the variables.
Right, exactly. And if you have color and all that stuff. And so you just gotta either cut it off or, transition and manipulate your curls to a certain way. Like, if you have, like, the, the straight pieces, manipulate it and, like, put, like, some flexi rods
in
or,
it. Yeah.
Rollers, like, small little perm
rods,
yeah,
and stuff
something
like
that. Yeah. But like, you can't do that, Brenda.
Yeah, you can't do that. Either you're going texturizer, which essentially is a relaxer, just left on for a short period of time, or you're gonna go natural. Hopefully you choose to go natural.
Right.
We want to see you natural, Brenda.
All right, so let's get into the vaginal steam.
Yay!
That's a hot topic.
It is.
Yeah.
Yay! For JJ Steam. For JJ Steam. For JJ Steam.
So I always make a song, like a little jingle for little things. That's a thing. That's what you should have done. You could still do it.
I can still do it. Hey,
Make
in a recording
jingles.
studio, right?
Yeah.
Hey,
Jingle queen.
y'all need a jingle. Y'all need some jingles. Shout me out. I come up with them real quick.
So yeah. So what is the
vaginal
steam procedure?
Say that too. Essentially, yeah, it's Well, so I always like to say it's not something brand new, like, because
Yeah.
it's been around. Women have been doing this for years. It's just in America, it hasn't really. Well, recently it's popped, you know, because of like, you know, Real Housewives of Atlanta they went to Jeju and they did it, and like Christy Teigen was on Instagram steaming and stuff. So
really?
you know, some of these celebrities have kind of
Brought it to the forefront.
Right.
But in other cultures, it's been around. So,
Right. It's something that you just incorporate.
well, it's a part of like, traditionally, it has been a part of postpartum care for women. So like,
And what like who has done it? Like in India,
like in Korea, for example, is something that they do. They call it, well, I don't know if it's actually traditionally called hip baths, but like sauna here is called
hip baths. That's how I've heard of it from my midwife when I used a midwife. 17 years ago with my first daughter, she spoke about a hip bath and sitz bath, and that's when I first heard about it.
Yeah. And so countries and like actually the owner, like the lady that created the institute that I got my certification from, so steamychicks.com, Kelly Garza is the owner and started Steamy Chicks, and so she's been kind of like creating a list of countries. She said there's like 36 countries that she has been able to document or kind of track steaming to, or that they used to do it. So I think continents like South America, Africa, and Asia, I know like Japan and Korea, and in the Caribbean it's very popular. I've actually heard a couple women like, yeah, my grandmother, my mother, you know, told me, a friend of mine who's Peruvian, she was telling me I think it was her uncle or grandfather, somebody sent her, one of her family members who's I think it's her sister, some herbs, like, hey, steam with this, you know. So it's not something that is brand new.
And all of those cultures will always use like heavy herbs, like, you know, like, and I know in the Caribbean, Latin America, it's like very, very popular with herbs, like all the time.
Exactly. And I like to I don't like to separate, you know, we live in America, but I also like to say, like, you know, we're traditional people of color from indigenous, those are our roots. And so it's kind of, for me, it's essentially going back and reclaiming that piece of knowledge that we as women had, that kind of was erased when we got here, you know, when we came to America, right? Exactly. That's a part of it. I mean, that's a part of our, you know, story as people of color, at least, you know, mine, because I know my ancestors were brought here on a slave ship. So some of that is like reclaiming what we used to do as women. So yeah, it's in Korea, like if you go to Jeju, they do some version of steaming. The way I was trained is, you know, we do a little more in-depth process of, you know, kind of looking at the woman's, what's going on with her cycle and her body.
Do you do like do you give them like a diagnosis at first? Like, do you give them like a checklist?
Yeah, so it's an intake
it's
process.
An intake, okay.
Intake form. So we go through a series of questions, and I ask, you know, like, you know, how regular, or what's your cycle length? Is it short? Is it long? Do you, what does your discharge look like? Your period.
And a lot of women don't even know that. Like, a lot of women don't know the stages of discharge. Like, ovulation has one, or it's so crazy. Like, the body is like begging for us to get freaking pregnant, man. Like the ovulation mucus and versus the, like, when you're off your period, that kind of discharge is different.
Yeah. So, I mean, the colors are different depending, like, really essentially you really should have like clear nectar. That's the most healthiest discharge to have. Right. So anything other than that kind of is an indication of maybe, you know, something going on. You may have a little more yeast in your discharge, or if it's malodorous, then it's probably a sign of like excess bacteria, maybe bacteria vaginosis, BV. Yeah. So
which is very common.
It's very common. And the way our lifestyles are, how we eat, how we care for ourselves, like all of this kind of adds to the all the reasons why we should really be steaming, and caring for ourselves. And I was one of those, like, I was like a chronic, just didn't pay attention to
your body,
to my body,
and what was going down in your, you know, in your
so
underwear.
like even when my cycle would come, like I didn't I wasn't paying attention. I'd be like, oh, I think it was around this time of the month. You know what I mean? Like I didn't really pay attention.
I use an app for mine now.
Yeah.
I know to the T. Like I'm about to ovulate like right now. Like, in 2 days I'm about to ovulate.
Yeah. See,
that's why she's talking about all
right.
This, like, wet.
That's right.
Your body is the most.
Isn't it? It's a setup, yo. Yeah. Like, cause it's like, dang,
well,
like during
that she coming for you tonight.
And that's the magic of our bodies, though. That
it's a freaking setup. You'll be so on when you ovulate, and you like, and it just seems like you're just like even more. To me, I feel like I'm like. I feel more pretty.
Yeah, you're
like
more feminine, more pretty, more
energetic.
Yeah,
like I'm just like, and then I feel like something with the pheromones. I feel like I get more guy attention. Like you trying to impregnate me. That's what you're trying to do. Don't be coming on. It's crazy. Yeah. Like a lot of people don't know that science behind it.
Exactly.
But
I mean, and that's another thing. We're not taught on that stuff.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So exactly, we weren't taught, and so then you can combine the fact that we don't have the education about our bodies, and we're not culturally, when we think about our bodies, like we love to appreciate all the physical things about women, right? But we don't want to talk about like the period. Like it's like we shun.
Right. We think it's like nasty.
Or when we talk, we say vagina. It's like like we're whispering.
We're whispering. Yeah.
We don't want to. It's almost like the things that really essentially make us uniquely a woman, which is our vagina, our cycles, right, our ovulation, things like that. We don't want to talk about it. So, for me, steaming has been like kind of opened that door of being unapologetically a woman.
Yeah.
And being able to really just.
I think that comes from though, like back to the like, not saying like, okay, you're on your period, because within my culture, like, that's not something that you share with a man. So like, you're as
you're quiet about it and quaint.
Right. Like, granted, of course, like I don't need to say like, oh, I'm on my period.
Like you don't have to
if you
announce
don't
it to the world.
I'm not like, I don't get a whole bunch of, I don't get symptoms like that, and you shouldn't. I don't feel like you should.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So like, I don't announce it like, hey, I'm on my period, like
everybody, I'm on my period.
Or even with the man, like you're not supposed to like, he's not supposed to know, or you're like, kind of discreet about it, and that's how I was raised.
And I feel like something in the like, I don't know if correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, DM me, or whatever. Like in the Muslim culture too, I think it's something with the period where you're not supposed to.
Right, like it's sacred.
Like it's sacred.
Like women, right? They kind of leave the women to be by themselves.
Yeah.
There's a time where they
just go off.
And no, I mean, I don't think it's a matter of like announcing it that, oh, I'm on my period, everybody. Yeah. But it's like with, for example, I remember growing up and like when I was dating when I was younger, and I would be like, I had heavy periods, like I had cramping and heavy bleeding and things like that. So I would say, oh, I'm in pain, or I'm just, I'm on my cycle, and the guy would be like, like that there was a repulsive nature about it. So essentially it's something that we, it's just something that we should be more embracing and actually teaching our boys and men who are with us, like, this is what
happens.
Like,
this is normal.
Every human being came out of a womb.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Y'all all came from us.
It should be honored in that way, and I don't need you to be like asking me a million questions about it.
Yeah, I feel like it should be a national holiday.
Right. Yeah. So and also because we don't really talk about it, it's kind of something culturally we don't really talk about. It's also a part of why we don't care for ourselves in the way we need to during the time of the month. Like we really should be resting more.
We should
be drinking more water. We should be wearing teas and warming our body, and making sure our bodies are warm, because if we don't do that, it causes more stagnation.
And it's so funny because I feel like during that time I get colder. So that makes sense that like you need to warm your body. Your body is telling you what you need.
Yeah, and you're losing blood.
Your body's producing it. So it's like our monthly way of our womb detox.
Kind of detox.
It's a detox of your uterus, essentially. Right. Yeah. And so your body needs to be able to produce the blood to flush out the toxins or stuff that's not supposed to be
there because it didn't get fertilized. So it's like, okay.
So if you're having like painful cramps, that means that essentially like your body's working really hard to push out what's not supposed to be in there. and you know that's not normal. Like you know, I was thinking cramps are normal, just pop pain pills. I'm like, you know, it's just you know, you're not getting a full cleanse because maybe you're not, you know, it could be various reasons. You could have excess stagnation. You could, you know, not be getting proper rest. You could be, you know, have a heavy mucus lining or thick mucus lining or something like that. It could have scarring tissue, you know, from having like an IUD or something that it's creating. Your body's like, you know, trying to get that out of it. It's like, you know, working harder to remove whatever's supposed to not be in there.
Right.
So, so all those things, you know, again, it's just back to like education. And so kind of when I do the intake process with the ladies, I'm going through all of that. So like if you go to Jeju, they're just gonna sit you
and crack some herbs and no shade,
but it's just a different process. Like, you know, we really try to educate the, you know, women that we work with and say like, this is, because that was the process for me when I had my first steam with you know, a facilitator who was trained through Steamy Chicks, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't know my cycle should only be 4 days long and no longer, because I was like, you know,
mine is about 3 to 4 days.
Yeah, mine was 7 days long, and
you
I thought it was normal.
There's like you should only bleed like a certain amount of like, I don't know, ounces or whatever. Like it shouldn't be more than that.
It should just be 4 days of fresh red blood is what you want. Like, you know, and it should
the most.
Right, you don't want any brown or even light pink is really not. It's kind of a sign of like blood deficiency. So you want your blood to be fresh red.
Right.
Like if you just, you know, got a cut.
Should it be like 4 days, or should it be less than? Can it be less than 4 days?
If it's less, then it could be a sign of like blood deficiency or, you know, something like that. But you know,
I've heard like on the Breakfast Club, like the group.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking
they
about.
They were like that it was like you should only like 2 tablespoons or something like that. That's what she said. Like, and that's like signs of like your body. That's what she said. I don't know. Like I'm not educated in none of that stuff. But it said like your period, you shouldn't bleed a certain.
Yeah, I heard the same thing that you shouldn't bleed a lot or whatever.
Right. That you know.
Yeah. That like through my training, they don't tell you exactly how much. They just said you just shouldn't be like a heavy flow, but you should, you know, no longer than 4 days, no shorter. If like you're only having 1 day of bleeding, then it may be
a shortage.
Blood deficiency is what it is. It's like you need to be giving, you know, you're not getting enough nutrients and vitamins in your body to really produce to cleanse it out.
And then should it be like, I know we're getting into periods, and that's not what we're really talking about, but it's
but it's part of the diagnosis. It's part of the intake.
It's a part of the steaming process, and really how we determine what herbs to use is we ask questions about your cycle,
right?
And we determine based on that the cycle and also other things in your body, like I said, the discharge and your heat issues, like if you're having hormone fluctuations, night sweats or hot flashes, stuff like that. So we ask all those questions, like
so because it's a case by case thing, just like most things.
Yeah. So you don't need to, you know, if you're like, for example, there's a lot of women who, you know, can't necessarily having a hard time getting pregnant, for example, fertility issues, and a lot of times, you know, or they're having miscarriages, and so if you look at, you know, if you look at their cycles, which you'll start noticing probably a lot of uterine fatigue. Not all women. That's not the case for every woman that can't get pregnant, but in some cases you have women who their uterus is fatigued. Essentially, is their cycles are coming every 20 days when it should be coming every 28 days. 28 to 30 is with the window you want to be in. So if you're having a cycle every 20 or 21 days, your uterus is like trying to hold the blood and just like, oh, I can't, you know, just lets go. It releases because it's exhausted.
Right.
And so, you know, it's essentially not able to, it's not strong enough. It needs rest, it's fatigued. So the herbs that we choose are gonna be to strengthen your uterus.
Because I had a client that told me, she said, girl, I was trying to have a baby and I went to Jeju and got steamed, and I was like, you know, steaming for a couple of times and I ended up pregnant. And so she like swears by like steaming.
No, and I mean it's gonna strengthen the uterus because the herbs, you know, are gonna do that. and you know, just like anything, like you know, a lot of times I've heard people say, well, the vagina is self-cleansing,
Right.
But the intestines are self-cleansing, like, you know, like, but we don't not do detoxes,
Right. Or we
what I
not
mean?
fast or
Because
certain.
I mean, if everything was working at its optimal pace
Yeah.
or whatever, we wouldn't do detoxes.
Right.
Like our body, you know, if we
especially
when we
because
eat
of the foods that we're putting
the
in our
foods
body.
that we eat, so why is it not the same for the
Right,
uterus or the
exactly.
vagina?
And
I
you
mean, it's-
should.
That makes
So
sense.
obviously you
Yeah.
do recommend it. That you think it should be a part of a woman's routine,
Oh, definitely.
just like
Yeah.
Kegels.
It no, it should be right along with Kegels.
With the Kegel.
I think
So
it should
how
be a part
often?
of. So it depends on your body, but you know, if you're just doing it for normal hygiene once a week.
Oh,
Just
really?
steaming.
That? Oh, wow.
Oh wow.
So is this something like, you know, like how we can do it? And do we need to come to you, or do we
So,
work with like?
How
how does that work?
Because I do it at home.
Mm-hmm.
And so I always recommend, like, if you really, you know, find this to be beneficial for you, you know, buy a steam chair, and then you just purchase your herbs from, you know, a facilitator like myself. But I always recommend going to see, like, somebody like myself first, do the
Right.
intake, figure out what's going on with
right,
your
like
body.
an actual professional hair professional.
Yeah, that's
so
a-
you do, you know, you figure
it's the
out it's
same
an
thing.
intake process to diagnose, I guess, essentially
Mm-hmm.
what is going on, and then to determine what type of steam setup you need, because you might have sensitivities. You know, some women get chronic, they have, you know, they get yeast infections or BV quite
Mhm.
often. So you know, if you have sensitivities, you're only going to need to steam for 10 minutes. Whereas, you know, you know, you might just like think, oh, like for me, when I started steaming, I didn't have the training, right? And I didn't go
Right.
to anybody to give me the intake and kind of diagnose me. So I was just like sitting on the steam chair for like, you know, as long as I wanted, because I was like, it
Like,
felt
this
good.
feels great. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be here through the whole
I
episode
was
of the
just
series
like,
of
you know,
Netflix.
just enjoying
Okay.
it. Yeah. And so I didn't need to do that, you
Right.
know, because I do have sensitivity, so I need to only do 10 minutes,
Mhm.
right? So once I started to learn that, then I was like, oh, okay. So I started to see the benefits, and then,
Yeah.
you know, after that. So yeah, come to somebody who knows, who's trained, who can, you know, give you the proper setup and, you know, tell you, okay, this is the frequency. You know, you need a mild steam versus advanced. You need these type of herbs.
So they're customized.
They're
Yeah.
customized,
Yeah.
yeah. They're customized to your body.
Once a
Right.
week, so I
And
gotta
then
go.
when you know, once you know what herbs you need and stuff like that, then you can just, you know, purchase a, you know, a kit and
where you can get a steam.
a chair.
This chair.
Yeah. So I have a wholesaler I work with who.
Okay.
So if you're interested in chair, I can get you a chair. And it's on my Instagram page also.
Okay.
The
Cool.
chairs that I use.
I'm gonna-
they're
I'm
they're
gonna
little
do that.
stools. They're like,
Okay.
yeah, but they do have other like there's a market of people, you know, people who sell boxes as well. And
Mhm.
so the ones that I sell are like stools. They have detachable legs.
Yeah.
Shout out to Yo Yoni Spa.
Yo, Yoni.
She's my homegirl. She's the one who builds the chairs.
Oh,
the
nice.
stools. They're beautiful. So yeah, they're
So you can
detachable.
pimp out your stools.
Yeah,
too.
they're detachable, and you can, like, you know, throw them in a bag if you're traveling. You know, I love that about them, because the boxes, you know, like at Jeju or something like that, they have those wooden boxes, which are great, but like you can't just
Yeah, they're not mobile.
They're not
So if you're like
portable.
going on vacation, you could like, you know,
Mhm.
take it with you. So what age do you recommend
You to
you
start.
start?
doing
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you really and truly once you start menstruating.
That's what I was
Yeah.
kind of thinking.
But even before menstruation,
Really?
it's okay for, you know, we use gentle herbs,
mm-hmm.
and you know, they just do 10 minutes and that's it, and it can help to make sure that they're, you know, they have vaginas and uteruses and, you know, cervix, all that. They have the same reproductive
Right.
system, so just make sure that their body is prepared and ready at the time that it needs to start menstruating, so it's healthy.
So do you think that someone who suffers from like chronic menstruating pains, they could benefit from
Oh
this?
yeah, definitely.
Like cramps.
Cramps.
I
Yeah.
haven't had cramps in years. Thank
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
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 They're not for eating healthy, right?
Right.
Yeah, like it's just a whole different
Ball game.
ball game. And
Yeah.
now, do you feel like obviously I know we spoke about it in the salon, but you mentioned something about like it releasing certain blockages that you may have in your body from like different partners and all that stuff. So can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so I mean, I think that there's a therapeutic element. So it's obviously helpful physically for your body, and there's a lot of proven benefits there. But also I feel like emotionally, and for women who have had trauma, you know, sexual trauma or otherwise, I feel like it's really helps to just, and you know, it's a level of self-love and care that I don't think we maybe are used to. And you know, it's pulling out everything that's not supposed to be in there.
Yeah.
So, and to me, I feel like, you know, physically, yes, but it's also energetically pulling things out of your womb. Because I feel, you know, for women, we hold trauma in our womb.
Yeah. I feel like I've read that before from like Queen Afua or something like that. Like that book.
Yeah.
Sacred. What was it? I can't remember it.
It's called. Oh my gosh, I got it. I have it.
Me too. I have it too, but I can't remember the name of it. It's excellent.
Yeah, it's a purple
with really pretty. Yeah.
But I know exactly what book you're talking about. But yeah, she does talk about that and how when we have unhealthy wombs, it's like where it's a representation of like the wider, I guess things that are happening in humanity and things that are happening in the world, and you know, women aren't healthy and we aren't caring for ourselves, how
we should be.
Yeah, that it's kind of representative of like how the world is and like how
the culture is.
And so by caring for ourselves and healing the womb, it helps us to heal everything else, you know.
Right.
Because essentially it's where
life
the
is
center of our you know beings, and where life starts. And if it's not healthy, then it's gonna guaranteed you got other things and other places in your life are like probably out of order and out of balance. And so, you know, when you start to really focus on that area, you're you know, if your illnesses and you know things like that are showing up there, once you start to heal that, you start noticing you're paying attention to more, you know, how I eat, or you know, am I resting, or you know, is this person toxic for me? Like you're just starting to look at every other area of your life. Because you're zoning in and focusing in on
you're more
center.
Connected.
The center of who you are. So definitely releasing attachments to ex-lovers or toxic people, because and you know, I've always heard, you know, that when you have sex with somebody, you know, you exchange energy and your souls kind of interchange or intermingle,
so you can sage that person right away.
No, steam that person right away.
Steam them right away.
Well, because you know, and I know a lot of women, they meditate while they're steaming, or they might, you know, say prayers or whatever, you know what I mean,
because it's sacred. I think sacred. You know,
that's what it's called, Sacred Woman. That's the name of it. Queen of Four.
And also why I went with like the name of my company, Sacred Steam, you know, because I feel like when we you know, look at something as sacred, we honor it, we give it position, you know what I mean, like we treat it with the utmost respect. And so I think that with our bodies, we have to do that because we are sacred. We are. And we're like, I mean, what we do, like we birth life. I mean, there's so many like amazing things that women do, and I just, you know, I'm amazed by like our bodies and all that it does, all that we carry, all that we're able to do,
and still just keep on pushing like nothing happened, like you know, we're able to feed, birth. You know,
we're strong. We're soft. You know, like we're able to just.
Ain't that the best balance ever?
Right. Yes. Womans.
Yeah.
So it's a blessing. So I just, like I say, that was the only word I could come. I was like, sacred. It has to be in the name somehow.
And how long have you been doing it so far?
So a couple months. So like in March is when I got the certification.
Okay.
So I've been steaming for maybe a little over a year now.
Right.
Yeah. So, but I was before training and everything steaming on my own, but just didn't
know.
what I
So
was
now
doing.
you actually know.
I know what exactly.
And you
my
do it
body
from
needs.
home.
Mm-hmm. I
People
steam
come
it
to
from
you.
home. Yeah, so I have a setup at my house, extra room that I do steaming out of, and also I travel to my clients. So if that's more comfortable, especially like if it's somebody that I don't know, they don't know me,
Right.
I'll go to
You'll
them,
go. Yeah.
You know, if they don't feel comfortable coming to my house, because
Right.
you know, I really am like kind of not sure if I'm gonna open up a place yet. I'm like,
Yeah.
You know, so because it
It's
is,
mobile.
Yeah, mobile for right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so let's tell us about how the men are. How are
Yeah.
I can't even like wrap my
No,
head.
but wait. Will it increase your libido?
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
Yes. So I mean, I haven't even get
definitely
into all the benefits, but it will.
Be struggling over here.
So it tightens the tissues.
And it
the
gives you,
vaginal
like,
tissues.
so
it
it'll-
gives you more tightness. It more moisture, and it also improves your libido. It
So like
definitely
you
does.
want, so it'll give you like the feeling of wanting to.
Yeah, I mean, because obviously when you, like, after you're steaming, you feel more clean, you feel more feminine, you feel, you know, but it also is helping your hormones too. It's helping to balance
because of
your
the
hormones.
herbs
Yeah.
that you're.
So it's working medicinally, but it also helps you physically feel like, you know, clean and fresh and like just
I need
more.
to come to you tomorrow.
Well, come on, girl.
Schedule an appointment.
Come see me, 'cause yeah, it helps. It definitely helps with that. Yeah. Like my husband can attest to that.
Oh, good for you. Y'all are such good girlfriends and wives. Y'all be rolling over.
I mean, look. If you ain't
know,
rolling
but-
over, somebody else is going to be rolling over.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, I mean, honestly,
Shoot,
let's
be
be
tired,
realistic.
man.
I was gonna say we got to be realistic and give ourselves, you know, because honestly, life is what
It's
it is.
life.
And you got
I've been to the
kids.
grocery store
working.
and working, and
Yeah,
then you
but
gotta like.
Listen,
Yeah,
But and I tell
it's
you
just
something.
it's like,
What,
dang.
you know, I don't necessarily go. You know, I'm not disagreeing per se, but I also don't subscribe to the, you know, well, if I don't give it to him, another woman will, because that means that essentially, like, at his beck and call.
I mean,
whenever he
I'm
needs
not
it.
saying like every week, like you're not every week. Like, okay, well, you want to get it in like every so often, right? A week or however your preference is, right? But what I'm saying, if you're going months or weeks without it, like, you know, like obviously, and he wants
How many
it.
months?
Look, I'm not gonna get into it with Soy, but
Well, then there's some other issues going on.
right, exactly.
That
That's
needs
what
to
I'm
be
saying.
sorted out, if
Right,
that's
but that's what I'm
happening,
saying
yeah.
because I mean, you once a month at least you're getting, you know, you say, you know, you're about to ovulate right now.
Yeah, but then after that, then it's like, oh well,
Yeah,
there's nothing.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I need some help.
I mean,
But a
I
lot
think
of times
it could
the
also be
reason-
mentally, right?
That's what I'm saying. It's a lot of stress. Like women, for us, in order for us to feel like
Look,
there's
I
a
want
lot
it all
more.
the time.
There's
That's so good.
there's a lot more that goes into like how we, you know, get turned on, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it has to do with, you know, like it's not just like for men. I think it's just a physical, like
It
and
is.
when they have sex, it's more of a release, you know, the stress relief. For us, it's like,
Nah, it's a release for me too.
well,
See, Dyra can get it in the backseat of the car
No,
on
I
the highway,
listen.
right?
Don't start rumors because I cannot. I don't do that like
Like
that.
I just be feeling like I need like a setup or something. Like I can't just be
Yeah,
running
you
from the
need to be
grocery
de-stressed.
store,
Right.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
what it
like,
is.
you know what I
Right.
mean? Like
Yeah.
I need like a beach sometimes.
But a
or-
lot of women are like that. I'm like that. I can't just, you know, become like go from mom
to
working woman and then just be a sex
yes,
kitten.
kitten,
I
like
can't
no,
do
and
that.
drop down
that's
and
not what
just
I'm
give you
not-
some
I'm
head
not
real
like
quick
that
in the
either.
kitchen. Like
Yeah.
I'm not like that either, but sometimes some spontaneous moment is cool, you know,
yeah.
like every once in a while, you know.
I
like,
want to do that, but it's
Right.
just like I need my setup to be
Right.
different for me to do that. Then
I mean,
And that's a lot, and that's normal because I think a lot of women just it just you have to get turned on mentally, emotionally. You have to feel secure. You have
Yeah.
to feel
yeah,
like things in my life, like, you know, other elements. I'm happy and content, and emotionally maybe you know I'm getting satisfied, and then it makes me want to. It turns me on because I
Right.
feel supported. I feel, you know, like he has my back, or he's helping me, or he did something to help me out with the kid, or whatever, right?
Right.
Just to help me feel like I mean, if I think for a lot of women, it's more than just a physical thing. It's connected to every other part, like your emotions.
Your emotions,
and
definitely.
And we
Your
speak
mental.
about that. So and I speak about that all the time. Like I say, like, listen, there is more mental for her, and of course, sometimes like it's not like I'm in the mood all the time. Like it's not like we don't have sex every day,
right?
Either.
But you can turn that on, like.
I mean, you gotta touch me a certain way. Like I just can't. You know what I'm saying? Like it's it's not planned. It happens. Like I could be in the mood, but like I want to have sex like often. Like it's good. It's pleasure. I feel good when I have sex, and I like why not?
No, there's nothing wrong with that. And if you have that connection with somebody and y'all are just locked in like that, I think that's a beautiful thing. And when it's different when you have history, when you're with somebody for years and there's stuff happens, and
exactly.
You know what I mean, like things start to happen, and you maybe trust or whatever you have issues,
right?
So
of course, it's always like up and down. Like sometimes
you have to find ways to reignite
work through it
or reconnect. And
absolutely, I've gone through that too. Like it's not the peaches and cream all the time. But
and it really depends on the partner. Like you and the partner might have, because there's been situations where like I was really mentally attracted to somebody, but physically not so much. Or vice versa. So it just kind of depends on the chemistry you have with somebody.
Yeah, we need to have a show about that mismatched libidos,
right?
Because that is true. Like you could be like
on a whole different
level.
Yeah. And that happens sometimes, even even for the man. Sometimes like it's just
true.
They can be going through something, mentally or not every man is like like I feel like when men are younger, I feel like they're hornier. Like you're young, dumb, and full of cum. That's how I feel. And then as they get older, like they still want to have sex, but it's not like they don't need it as much as they did when they were younger. Men, like when they're, I feel like it changes though. It really does change. Like when you're young, like boys, like I know, like I'm not gonna say who it was, but somebody said, hey, so he came into Atlanta, so where the big booty hoes at, like and he was young, and that's what you think about when you're young, like as opposed to a man who's in his like older or just has settled in, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just it's
also about how men see women.
Yeah, too. Exactly.
That has nothing to do with age per se. More because I mean you have younger men who honor and
that's a lot.
women,
that's true too.
And older men
who don't
feel misogynistic,
and never change.
So like I think that when it comes to relationships and when you're it's like I feel like for me and my husband, we had to, like when I had my son, I went through a period, like I was stressed at work. I was working at grad school. I had like a lot going on, and so my libido was not I was just too overwhelmed.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And that happens a lot.
So it has to be like an understanding. We had to talk about it. He had to, okay, got it. I need to help out more. So, cooking or whatever, like he would run me baths when I got home from work, would help me like, I felt like I could relax for a minute.
Right.
I didn't have to think about that type stuff.
Right.
And
that's what it is, not thinking about it. So do you think that women who are like in that space, they can get a steam treatment and it'll help?
Yes, I do. I feel like at least, I mean, you don't have anything to lose, right? I mean, try it, but guaranteed it's gonna help to reconnect you with whatever is energetically in there that maybe is blocking, and help to clear that out. And then again, it's gonna, the herbs are gonna work on, balancing out the hormones and fluctuations and things like that. Especially, when you age and get older, your body starts to do different things. Heat, you get more hot, what I mean? Like, so.
And they say like you lose moisture down.
Yeah,
down
you get drier. Yeah, so there's herbs specifically that we use to cool down the body, and that helps to rehydrate. And there's we use like nettle, for example, that helps to. That's an herb that helps the kidney, and the kidney, it helps with hydration
I
in the
remember
body.
taking nettles when I was pregnant.
Yeah, it helps hydration in the body and the kidney. And so, so it's going to help to rehydrate you down there as well. And cool down your body so that you're not having those hot flashes and things like that.
Yeah.
And then, you get back to your normal self. So, and libido included.
Yes, sign me up.
Another jingle?
Right. Sign me up. Sign me up.
So tell us a little briefly about the man steaming. What do you call it?
It's called A-steaming.
Okay.
Why do you call it A-steaming?
Anus. The anus.
Oh shit! I get it now.
Okay. So tell us how does that why and who and where and what?
And I'll preface this by my training is only for women and understanding the anatomy of the woman, but because we also get I learned a lot about herbs, so with men essentially the steam goes up the anus and it's also hitting the exterior, the penis, the scrotum, the testes, all that, and it kind of is able to improve. And with the herbs that we use are
think about it as they sit on it. So is it hanging down?
So there's a hole.
I'm done.
No, essentially, yeah.
So
it's
everything's
there's a hole.
just hanging down.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's a hole on the chair.
There's a hole in the chair, and
Okay.
they sit. Their legs are, kind of crushed open, and the steam hits them right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Balls and all.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then the herbs we use are gonna be targeted to the prostate and and improving impotence and stuff like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Because there's lots of herbs out there that saw palmetto, yohimbe, and things like that really
work with ED.
Damiana is another one that helps with ED. Just helping to the prostate,
Right.
And testosterone, increasing testosterone. Yeah. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So
But
you can
like
do.
I said, I haven't.
You haven't
opened the
dates to that
to,
yet.
to start working with men.
Right.
Only my husband.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely
Something that you're gonna add on later on.
Yeah,
I'm
in the near
future. He's your demo.
He's my
Yeah. Your guinea pig.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna order a steam chair.
Me too. I need one.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to be doing it weekly, okay?
Yeah. I mean,
great.
as needed or as you are able to. you
Right.
know. But if you're doing it if you're just okay, I really want to work on, say whatever, you have heavy cycles or you're dealing with a lot of heat issues, whatever it is, you want to keep on a regular schedule.
Even if so even for someone who is normal, would you still recommend it?
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Because it's just hygiene.
Yeah.
And helping.
It's part of it.
It's about helping your womb to cleanse itself properly. And if you don't have any cramps or your cycle is normal, that's okay. But just even if when with us eating in our digestive system, even if we we don't have nausea or we don't have acid reflux, we still detox every once in a while to help our bodies cleanse out, our intestines cleanse.
Right.
So it's still something I feel like you should do, as a woman to clean, help it, cleanse itself and detox properly.
Okay.
All right.
A lot
So,
of good information.
Okay.
Yes.
And where can they find you, man?
Where can they find you? Where's your
so
Instagram?
Sacred Steam ATL is my Instagram. You can find me there. My scheduling app is there. No website yet, y'all, but I'm just using Instagram for right now, and you can just, if you want to book a steam with me, you go there.
Okay. All right.
Definitely, that is on the to-do list.
Yeah.
I would be more than happy to work with you guys.
Yes.
All right, so let's get into we calling you out.
We calling you out.
I know. So we're calling this girl out. So she
Do you see this?
I don't know if she attached because it looks like I always have a hard time explaining these things because
Okay, first of all, she has finger waves in the front, and then she has a ponytail in the back. and it's two different colors.
Okay, yeah, so it's 2 different colors. And did she just attach that to her hair?
I don't know what is going on here.
I think she put a ponytail, like, and that's like crazy. You can't do both. You either gonna pick the ponytail, and that would have been fine, or you're gonna do the finger waves.
Yeah. I mean, I just think that aesthetically, it's just not pleasing to the eye.
Right.
I mean, but these are her opinions. I mean, obviously, she thought this was fly as hell, so that's why she did it.
Yeah.
And I guess some people like it, you know, but I just feel like it would have been a little bit more chic if she would have just chose, like, finger waves or ponytail.
You can't pick both.
Right.
I mean, you know what?
I want both.
I want both. I can't make a decision.
Yeah, I want both.
She was like, girl, I couldn't make a decision. Just give me both.
Yeah, maybe she could have worn a hat and just left the ponytail out or something. I don't know. Like, I just, you know, nah, man. It's not for me. Is it for you?
No, it's not for me at all.
Yeah, is it for you?
I wouldn't do that. But, you know, no judgment. Each his own.
Right.
Yeah, no, but we calling her out for that.
Hey, I guess this is you know, everybody has a right to creative expression.
Right.
But,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Nah, we good.
Just
Stop
like,
doing that shit.
Right.
All right. Well, that concludes hair and whatever. And yeah, she already gave you where you can find her. Yeah, check her out. I'm sure you can DM her and get more information about the yoni steaming or vagina steaming, however you want to call
Vaginal
it.
steaming.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then y'all can find us on Hair and Whatever podcast on IG, Instagram. Yeah, it's the same thing. IG, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube,
iTunes, yep.
SoundCloud, all that good shit.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
let us know. Slip into the DMs too with your hair or whatever questions. All right, y'all.
All right, we out.